State House Minority Leader Patrick Neville, along with 10 other Republican lawmakers, submitted an estimated 200,000 signatures for Amendment 76 to appear on the 2020 ballot. The measure would add the word "only" to the Colorado State Constitution in the sentence "Only United States citizens may vote in Colorado," rather than "Every citizen may vote." Krista, I guess my first question is, and I've been accused of being cynical before, but changing one word in the Constitution from "every U.S. citizen" to "only U.S. citizens" feels less like a needed constitutional amendment and much more like we're looking to bring a base out to vote. Am I being cynical, or is there a needed change to the Constitution here?
Let's go with both, right? I think you're right that your instincts that you put things on the ballot that draw your voters. I get that, and this should do it. On the other hand, although there is no evidence that non-citizens are voting right now, in the future, it seems like a reasonable precaution. If liberals are able to circumvent the Electoral College and basically get rid of it through one scheme or another, state population, the number of voters voting matters ever more, right? So having more people in your state vote, whether they're citizens or not, would be an objective. So it seems like a reasonable precaution. I think it's a little of both.
Joe, to me, this is a hammer looking for, this is a solution looking for a problem, because it's not as if we've had some sort of huge amount of voter fraud over thousands of undocumented non-U.S. citizens voting in Colorado. And it does serve as a very effective tool to attract a base. But you've been part of this process, making laws and looking at the Constitution as part of your job as a former state lawmaker. What do you think when you see these signatures turned in?
Yeah, so I take a look that it's being brought by Patrick Neville. I served with the House Minority Leader for a few years as a state lawmaker, and they must be in desperate trouble if they are looking to drive out their base by using xenophobic and racist agenda items like this for 2020. And this is not a shock to me, having admonished Representative Neville on the House floor several times over because of his conduct towards our undocumented families. So I just think that this is just a very intellectually dishonest way of trying to drive out their base.
Lucille, the word "every" versus the word "only" is kind of positive, negative, but to me it means the same thing, but I'm just one person. When you look at it, is there any correction really happening here?
No, there isn't. And when we're looking at voter fraud, it's so insignificant as to be negligible. So to create an initiative that that addresses a problem that does not actually exist is disingenuous. It's making Colorado issues into national issues, and for somebody like Neville to make the national politics to Colorado politics, when again it's not something that's actually happening, is disingenuous to me, and it takes away that hyper-local agency that people really appreciate about Colorado. So to me, it's really just drumming up a base that really wants to hear that somebody sees them and is just as xenophobic as they are.
Patty, there seems to be a response. You talk to supporters of this. They talk about, well, there's been cities in California, like I think San Francisco was one of them, that said they're allowing non-citizens to vote. It also feels, though, that it's easy to say, well, this might be happening in some other states, so we better amend the Constitution. And amending the Constitution in Colorado is not very easy. I think it's a 55% a threshold. They get signatures in all the different counties. What do you make when you see something like this, knowing the politics back and forth?
Well, we're lucky this hadn't gone through earlier, or more to the point Kaufman is, because all those French citizens, all those English citizens who were voting for him in this election wouldn't have been able to do it. And I think it actually says every citizen, not every U.S. citizen. So part of it is specifying that. This was not a problem. Clearly, we do not have a lot of people. We would know if they were able to vote from another citizen, a citizen of another country. We would have heard about it a long time ago. The other thing is, there are other ways to change the Constitution. For example, if you happen to be a state lawmaker sitting in the legislature, you can work on proposing changing the Constitution. It came up before. Remember, not long ago, slavery in the Constitution. So there are those laundry list ballot measures that come up every few years to bring the Constitution into line, maybe with current mores, or just clear up things that are confusing. Certainly, this could have been put in one of those laundry lists rather than make a big deal out of it now.
Unless, of course, you wanted to get a certain voter base out to the
Yes,
the
unless you
ballot
wanted to collect some names and some headlines.